All right, this is our fourth attempt. Let's get started. I think the main issue isn't so much our setup. It's that the idea of separating the residential from everything else, that's good. I'm implementing it badly though because I'm not setting up my routes all that well. So that's the goal for today, is to have better traffic routes that the Sims want to use. And I think if I can master that, we'll be sitting pretty. The other idea I had was I'm gonna have basically I need to build a lot more. The one video I found. Apparently, this is a tough scenario because I haven't seen many Let's Players actually beat it. Most of them fail the same way I've been failing, which is just getting a certain point where you just haven't built up enough. So really the strategy is to grow the city as fast as possible, as cheap as possible, and then you start to implement stuff. But you can't stop expanding either. That's the other issue. I can't get to talking and ignore my people. I have to constantly expand and all that. So we'll keep that in mind. The final little bit of advice is, if you buy 3 land sections, if we go to here and we buy 3 areas, then you can you basically end up oh god, I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say here. If you buy 3, you get some extra money, which is nice. I think that's definitely something to keep in mind. And I'm going to buy this tile and this tile, mostly because it's easy to naturally expand in those directions, and it'll give us a bit more highway access. We can build a separate industry section up here, stuff like that. So that's my plan. And for now, just basically we want to build up the city ASAP and hope it works. So I'm gonna straight away buy a tile, and the reason why I'm doing that is that's gonna trigger our first meteor strike, and that's a good thing. I want to get it out of the way. There are 3 meteors that you can trigger. The first just happens after the first 30 weeks. The second happens when you buy your first bit of land, and the third can happen if you zone over, I think it's 40,000 squares of industry. But if you switch to offices, you'll never trigger that. So that's another reason to switch to offices. But in the meantime, let us just expand like crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead now. My intention with this one is fine. I don't mind the direction really that these face. Although I want them to, I want the long sides to face towards the river. And that's because that's where all of our, basically I need feeder stuff, and then stuff crossing the river to pull residences from here over to here. And so this side is kind of wrong, right? Because if you look, the long way is facing parallel. I want it to be perpendicular to the river, not parallel to it. So this is wrong. We need to redesign it. Same with over here. I want it to go up like this, because that way, if you look at topography over here, it'll be easier to build if we follow the topography of the land. Well, I guess, we could go this. I don't know. The way I'm thinking of it, though, is I can have stuff like cable cars and ferries connecting across the river, and then bus networks that could reach in towards the land on really long, skinny roads going up. Whereas if it goes parallel, it kind of can't do that easily. And that's kind of my thought process. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe I should just try to stay parallel and get as much space in, but no, I think I like the idea of this being along the riverbank. So that's how we're going to build it. Same with this. So if we go here, I'm going to bash this in and build it like this instead. And dezone this because we don't really want commercial there. I see there's a bunch of old little homes. Now, apparently, these trees aren't removed when a building goes in. And they can spread forest fires. Your computer has to render all of them. So that's kind of a pain. I wish there was a remove trees tool in the actual game, because if they're gonna, basically what happens is they none of the trees ever block any movement of the Sims, right? They're on a different layer, but instead of just destroying the object, they switch it from a visible state to an invisible state, which is really bad. Like, I'm surprised that they would program it that way. But I'm sure there was some obscure reason why they wanted to do it that way. But, like, watch this. So, no trees, rocks. They're all hiding behind the buildings here because they didn't clear the trees. That's a new little habit I'm going to have, basically, is clearing away any trees when I want to zone something. Mostly because it'll save your computer a lot of processing speed, and it'll prevent like late game slowdowns to clear the land like that. It also prevents forest fires from spreading easily to buildings. So, and it costs you nothing to remove some trees. So, if anything, you kind of want a little fire break, especially with these meteors, because that way you won't have to worry so much about them burning down your village. Alpine Village. I'm still calling it Alpenglow. Oh god, the whole episode's gonna turn into me like bashing these trees though, isn't it? Is that's power line, okay. Just a few more. It's addictive. It's very addictive. Like, I wish there was an achievement for doing this. Destroy however many trees, you monster. Now there are reasons to keep trees. They reduce noise, and they soak up pollution. So, the only other issue though with trees is they will also eat fertility out of the ground. So you don't really want to place them like around farmland because it will reduce the fertility, meaning less delicious food for your people. Okay, I could do that all day, but I don't have to. Let's dezone because I want it to all be like I said. Zone. How do you toggle this? Is there like a... you just hold down right click. Perfect. I knew there'd be a fast and simple way to do that. I just hadn't discovered it for myself yet. I also want to try to be more efficient with the water, because that means spending less money and covering more area. So we'll zone all that. What else do we need to do in the beginning? I'd like to empty this, so let's go. A lot of the kind of like, basically a lot of the folks I've been watching, who like, it is shocking how few people have actually beaten this. By the way, like I think I could find one Let's Play series where the guy actually won this scenario. So it goes to show you it's actually quite difficult. But this is where I'm going to put my garbage. It seems like it's pretty out of the way. Like, I never would build up here normally. I don't love having the garbage right on the only entrance to the city, but it doesn't seem to really mess much with, okay, we have to unpause it for a second in order to empty this building. I'm gonna leave it running on the slowest speed while this starts to build out a bit. Right, we need... Well, electricity is gonna reach there fairly soon. I think we can actually just kind of wait for it to grow this way. There you go. And now it should jump. Hello? Okay. it's slow speed, so of course it takes a while for it to ramp up. But yeah, this early part of the game is pretty similar to what I've been doing. Just you want to as soon as possible get to unlocking the thing, the public transport options. Now, I've been debating a few things. One of them is, do I want to use... I'm actually going to bust this and extend it this way because, again, like trying to parallel... The way I see it, all of this side will face this river, and all of this side is going to face this river, and that'll make it easier to design the buses. I did not want to build a dirt road, although you can. Like, the nice thing about dirt roads is it saves you some money early on, which isn't too bad. But I think going back through and upgrading everything takes too long, so I'm not personally going to do that. But I've definitely seen that strategy used. Okay, if I do that, it's gonna apparently not need to ramp up like it looked like it would need to. Okay, cool. We'll just cover as much of this as possible. I'm gonna probably extend these lines out. Yeah, like so. But, oh, the other thing I wanted to do... do we leave these? Not here. Not here. I wanted to follow... And this is something that I normally do. I just, I guess I didn't feel like doing it this time. I don't know, like... Alright, I'm gonna de-zone this because I like to zone this way. It's actually a bit more efficient. Let me verify, though. I have... I literally have a folder with, like, here's a cool layout you can do in Cities Skylines because I'm an accountant. I'm not actually an accountant, but I have the mindset of one. Yeah, okay. So, if you want to have the absolute maximum density, you go up 4. Oh, please stop doing that, mouse. My mouse has been so on the fritz. Okay, so what you want is like a 12 by 4, and then a road. And, the reason why is gives you, like, it has to do with the distance that the Sims will walk. Like, they're willing to walk about this far and then turn. Like, if you have a really long stretch of road, they won't walk down the road. So this is, quote-unquote, the most efficient in terms of fitting the maximum amount of population into the smallest area. And the reason I'm doing this checkerboard pattern is it means that we are guaranteed that they will spawn as the largest sized house. And the largest sized house means that they will have the largest population. So what you do is you do this little checkerboard. And we'll have to redo this down here too, because I want it to line up the right way. I don't know. Maybe I'll because we're losing some over here as well. You know what? I'm gonna redo everything. Oh God. In fact, I should probably restart the scenario. And the reason why is I've already spent a lot of money I didn't need to spend, and money is very tight early game. Oh, let's bust these trees. You don't have to do this. I mean, it's not like it's a huge gain in performance. But apparently if your machines are, you know, like me, I play on a laptop, so my machine gets hot pretty fast, and that'll help it. Yeah, I kind of feel like I've already messed up because I spent all that money building these roads in a direction that's weird. Yeah, because what I want to do... So, you see this, like, roundabout here? This thing, I'm going to make that like the main like bus or tram line that circles in the beginning. So, hmm. And what I don't want is to force. I want it to be as straight and fast as possible. So I didn't want to force it to, go over and up and stuff. And if I want to keep this 12 by 4, I would have needed to start it from this road, which I didn't do. I've already spent like $20,000 redoing this. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna restart because early game, you really don't want to spend your money like that. You need to be fast about expansion, and if you are 20,000, if you spend $20,000 and then undo it all, like you might have already lost the scenario. It's one of those ones that I've discovered. The more you grow early on, the better off you'll be towards the end. And if you make a mistake like I just did, where it's like, I don't really want the road layout that way, and I already built some stuff. No, you really can't afford to do that because you need the money to fund constant expansion. So I'm going to, I'm actually going to restart, and I will get back to you. You know what? I will get back to you when I have unlocked public transport, because this beginning part is basically doing some rezoning. It's emptying this out. It's not particularly exciting, and you've seen it 3 times already. So I'm just going to call mulligan on this and get back to you after I have fixed it the way I want it, basically. So you'll see me instantly. I'll be right back. All right. All right, everybody. So I think I am ready to. Clearly, I'm back into. I've done all the rebuilding, and the reason why I want this set up is this is, if you look at the zoning, this will be the most efficient for space zoning. Oh god. So basically, we need very, very high density. And this is the way to guarantee that each building is as large as it can feasibly be. Looks like I made an error down here. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's strange. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I see. I was looking at that as a guideline, and because the street is different. Interesting. I think I'll just dezone that little bit down there. That seems like the way to go. But, yeah. Basically, what I want is all of... Ooh, it's the same here. Okay. I guess similar deal. We'll just... I mean, this will be like a single row of houses, but that's fine. The idea is, like, wait for these to fill up, and then we'll drag and drop, and then... Every building will be the largest size possible. They'll all be size 4 by 4, which means that they have the most employees and the most population. So let's hope, though, that I don't go bankrupt, because I did just like spend a ton of money on the roads. The other reason I wanted this big central artery road is it's going to be we can probably crank up the speed a bit. It's I can put trolleys on it. I can put all kinds of stuff. Oh, that's a problem. For now, just sure, you can be like that. And need electricity over here and down here. I cut it off up here, I see. I'm going to be redoing basically every single road to fit this new little grid design because it's the most efficient. Now, electricity probably will eventually jump over to here, but I don't really want to like let it sit there and not collect taxes for a long time. Oh, I thought I built something to connect these two. Oops. That's why you gotta keep on your toes. Because I need the taxes sooner rather than later. Because if we go broke, we lose this scenario. And I've already taken out one loan because I knew it would be bad for a little while. But let's watch it. Like, this should be dropping. We should be getting a lot more people moving in. But, hopefully our economy will fix itself in a few more ticks. You can do it. Up here is filling in pretty nicely. I'll probably get rid of this power cable now. Still -2. God, it takes forever for the economy to rebound after a major rebuild like this. It's so nerve-wracking. And it's also because I kind of... Why is the power cut off again? I just fixed that. I honestly am not sure. So I'll do it like this for now. A little bit frustrating that just kind of randomly failed again. Okay, that'll help taxes a lot though once these people start paying money. Yeah, see, it just dropped by like 1,000. But I need to take out the second loan. God. It's very annoying because it's like, I know that I'll be able to cover the cost and then some once this fills in. It's just that Tier 1 housing does not satisfy the needs of paying taxes. So it's... I'm going to zone these. Now that they've filled in, I can zone the opposite sides. Like so. And that will, that'll guarantee that I have the largest possible factories in places. You just gotta kind of like be patient and do it like bit by bit. So we can get a 4x4 in these middle parts. These little bits are just going to be like, it's annoying there's a hill there basically that I couldn't afford to even out or anything. So it's going to end up doing that. Okay. We'll just let it continue to fill in.
Astrologists report that a
right, here comes the meteor. It's because I went ahead and bought the... shoot, I was hoping it would hit off the map, not on the map, but... Alas.
A meteor strike has occurred.
It's fine though, I basically de-zoned this whole little area. So it's not the worst, but it is... Man, it's right down the middle of where I was hoping to build a bunch of stuff, so it's frustrating. I can always try to like level the terrain out, but leveling terrain is so expensive. Okay, so far, yeah, commercial is going to start shooting up because I demolished most of it. Now I want to build commercial over here, and I want it to be like in a nice fashion, kind of hugging the riverbank. It's gonna be a little expensive to set up. Let's try it though. Gonna do the same deal. Do I want like 4-lane roads, or I want the only road that I want to be 4-lane is this kind of artery road that's going. This one will be upgraded, I suppose, and then like maybe following that. I don't know. What direction gets me? Let's look at the topography. Yeah, see, it mostly, you do want to build it this way until you get over here. It's like a weird, awkward little bit that is a little bit different. I think I'm just actually going to follow the existing roads. So, that means... that this will be the main artery, but I do not like... This is a very wasteful kind of setup here, so let's solve that problem. As for the high school, I want the high school and all the universities and high schools to be in their own little world, like not connected to anything. So that's something else I need to pay attention to. Alright, for now... Is that actually the 12 by 12? Nah, it's slightly off, isn't it? What's the best way to handle this? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Go 4x4, upgrade. We'll upgrade that. And then this, and we're gonna take it straight across to connect up, so. Smash this road. Connect it like so. And then I'll have to, I'm gonna zone it going parallel to the road, but not exactly how they have this set, because it's not exactly the right way. I've given up the whole idea of, yeah, see, we want 4 by, no, not the large one, the small one. There you go. Take it a little bit further out. Oh, you had it. There you go. And now we can zone a 4x4 commercial area. This one's going to be a little bit off because it's just when you have the wider road here, it throws it off a bit. I did not want to do that because I'm going to have a feeder road going across. Now you might be wondering like why I want all these feeder roads. It has to do with the paving of the Sims. Like this actually will help them reach. Oh, this one's off too. Okay. I built that right. Apparently I did not. It's hard to tell because all these things are in the way. There we go. I'm gonna go real easy with commercial. I don't want much of it, if I'm being honest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, put the road wrong. Oops. Refund, please. There we go. I did it again. Jesus. Okay. It's little mistakes like this that can cost you the whole scenario because I'm spending too much money. Yuck. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Thank you, jeez. And now I can just do this across. Repeat the same pattern for one more row. The main reason I don't want lots of commercial is there seems to be an issue where basically commercial continually ask for jobs and then can't fill them with public transport, and I don't know why. That seems like a bug. Like, they'll just sit there like not enough workers, and yet there's a public transport dumping workers right in front of them, but the workers don't want to work. I don't know. They just want to play on the drums all day. Let's see here. Smash these trees. Yeah, apparently this really does improve performance, which is a little bit frustrating. You would think zoning would remove trees. That's a pretty easy thing to program, and instead, the way they did it is just, it's not smart, you know? Like, I've made games with similar situations where it's like you're adding something to the scene. Well, I don't know. Like, if you want to really conserve assets, one thing you can do, and they did this in a lot of the early 3D games, for example, Mario 64. In those games, way back in the early 3D days, I don't have to do these individually. I could just like draw straight across, but oh well. In the early days of 3D, they basically would have the one asset. And of course, these pipes are just a disaster. I feel like we don't need them to follow. I'm gonna do this properly. It will just save a little bit of maintenance costs and stuff in the long run. Okay, this whole thing. And we'll leave that pipe business for now. And I want right up to here because we're gonna zone straight to the edge of the map. And then sure. But yeah, in the Mario games, like Super Mario 64 era, they also did this with Ocarina of Time. I don't know like what the age of my audience really is, but those were the games I grew up with as a kid, and they're much beloved. Like I don't know, maybe we'll do a playthrough of them at one point, just because I freaking love Ocarina of Time. It's so good. But I don't know. I can't even begin to think how we would hook up the Switch to record stuff. And I hear Nintendo really loves just the copyright strikes. So I don't know. It's kind of like a thing that maybe we'd try at one point, but at the same time, I'm not going to like go really hard after it. Like if it happens, it happens. But anyway, yeah, Ocarina of Time, all of them, what they would do is they actually just had the one 3D asset, right? So like if you had a Goomba in Mario, and you had to fight the Goomba, they had like 5 assets on the entire map that were Goombas. And any time that they needed them for a level, they would just move them. So like one reason Mario 64 has all these weird like longish opening door sequences and just like weird little cutscenes. That's why they realize, well, we really want to we need these kind of things both for the sake of the story, but mostly so that the computer chip has a chance to physically move assets across the map without the player seeing it, which I thought was it's kind of a fascinating thing to think about. I need to extend these just a little bit further. Oh, good. Okay, and so our creation is complete. Maybe. It's not hooked up down here. I should probably do that. Okay. And as I also bashed the power lines, so we can't have that. Anything else that I forgot? Probably not. Okay, we'll leave it running for a bit, and hopefully this builds up sooner rather than later. I don't really want to give them parts. I'm just going to let them kind of fill in. And we can crank it back up to higher speed while that sorts itself out. And I can zone a little bit in here. It looks like all of this gets filled in. So, boop. You'll see they're all 4x4s. Well, in areas that fit. Like, this part makes a 4x4 impossible. It'll probably 2 3x3s. No, that looks like a 4x4. But yeah, this maximizes your usage of limited space. It's one reason why I'm, like, focused on the strategy. Normally, I don't, like, really take the time, because I think you get, like, weird city shapes when you build like this. But in this scenario, I think it's actually pretty helpful to try and zone this way, because we're trying to really maximize the amount of population you're squeezing into a tiny space. And this is really the way to do it. And now we're just kind of playing the waiting game. That's why I have it on high speed. I'll glance around and somehow I cut off the water. Yeah, none of these guys have water because I insisted on making my own connection there. Okay. How should we connect this? Probably the best way to do it. I'm gonna smash these lines. I don't like them and they're not really even doing much. I don't know if pipes actually mean you use extra water. I don't think so, but I don't know so for 100% sure. And I'll just extend this parallel to that and connect them this way. And that should connect everything up. Yeah, just basically, like, I started this map just figuring out how to fix the really bad setup that the map creator had for, like, it really wasn't all that efficient in terms of how you're using the space. So, oh, and they won't have power, because power won't really reach across, but I know a way to get them power. Ultimate power! Oops. We'll zone some 4x4s in here. Of course, we gotta smash a tree. But yeah, so continue our little game design and development discussion. In really old titles, and actually in some newer ones too, because it's kind of interesting. All the tricks that they used in the very early 3D era are making a comeback, and the reason why is because of virtual reality. In order to get like a fully rendered 3D space as fast as you can, like you need in virtual reality, in as high definition as possible, you have to make all these little tricks, like teleporting the objects around the map. So a lot of the old school designers from, like, you know, the very early times of 3D basically were called back by their development studios, and they had to do like little, like, here's a crash course in how you, like, are very conservative about your polygons, because in modern game development that isn't virtual reality. Virtual reality just has, like, very, like, it needs to render very quickly, otherwise people get nauseous. And because of that, they can't use, like, here's a 2 million polygon asset. Like, they just can't do that. So this edge, I'm not going to continue the little, like, lanes, so we'll just assume they aren't going to be there. Which means that this won't exactly line up with the other side. Just kind of go like so. But yeah, like, they had to call up the old, like, the old school, the old guard basically, and have them give everyone, all the 3D modelers had to give everybody a crash course in how to be conservative with your pixels. A lot of companies end up doing that, which is kind of funny, like, just so that they were able to develop these new virtual reality games. But yeah, normally in like, I don't know if you've ever seen the trailer for Unreal Engine 5, but we can now squeeze millions and millions of polygons into a space without it really being a big disaster. So we tend to just kind of like being safe with polygons is less necessary these days. It's not that they won't do it. Like, best practices, you want to be as, like, conservative with your polygons as you can be. Just because the game will run faster. And you want to, like, be careful with how many objects you put into a scene. But in practice, it's not nearly as restrictive as it used to be, where you really had to be concerned about that kind of thing. And anyway, so, like, the whole point I was trying to say is, generally speaking, you want to be a little bit conservative with your objects. What I mean by objects, stuff like these trees or little cars going through, because that can end up adding up. Man, how do I get the power to these guys? Is there anything I want to build here? I don't really want the high school connected to the commercial. I want separate as a separate destination. I need some way to bridge this gap. And they don't seem to be growing, so they're just sitting there and not paying me rent. I guess I guess I'll put in like a little park. What's the cheapest park? 1,000. But it's gigantic. I want a small one. Yeah. Something like that. What are the pauses like? Are they small and cheap? Well, they're small, but they're not cheap. That one's 5x5. Alright, we'll put in the little Paradox Plaza. I want to make sure that it's completely lined up with this road, so we'll drop that road in. And back to parks. It'll mean that they're paying more in taxes anyway, so I don't want it on the main road, I want it on a side road, because this is a little destination area. So hopefully that'll hook up the power supply. Not quite, okay. Hopefully that will do it. There, boom. Cool. And now we're making more money. How do you... Am I just out of water? I'm out of water, okay. I also want to move the water pumps to this side of the map. Because where they are right now is no good. It's too close to the sewage. So I'll just put in a couple over here. As squeeze together as possible and connect the whole thing with pipes. How about like so? And then we'll need some power. For now, I'll just do like that. Okay. Clearing the land, and that also means I don't need this pipe right here. Save myself a little bit of money. As for the sewage, I'm just gonna start putting it over here. We're gonna be horrible and dump it straight in the ocean. Get three-eyed fish and all that. So, okay, that, now power is probably the other issue. I'm just gonna do another coal. Ooh, how much money is this? 19. Okay, well, we can afford it. I kind of want it along this main. Oh, there's a fire station there, okay. Sure, I'll put both of them along this main lane. Please don't go into debt, because I've already taken out both loans. So if I go into debt now, that's it. The amount of money I'm making is dropping. Why is it dropping? Okay, taxes. Because we cannot bump up to 11% for these three. I'm not sure why it's dropping so bad. Like, okay, there's Boomtown, but we have no money and no way to get money. But it's good that we got to this point, I suppose. Alright. I'm gonna crank it up a little bit just because... Oh, we got money from the Boomtown boost. Okay. Do we go straight for public transportation, or do we check other issues with the city first? I could zone this. I think it's probably best practices to check. Oh god, okay. There. You can be boosted, and yeah, that's good. Now, why do I have this road down here? Well, my plan is I'm going to do ferries. I'm going to have like 3 ferries going in a big triangle down here. People say they're only as good as buses, but I want to test that, and they're not that expensive. Okay, actually, maybe they're more expensive than I thought. The ferry stops for 5,000, but this is a little on the pricier side. Well, maybe we won't be doing ferries. I don't know. I might try it. People say, though, they have really fast throughput, they move quickly, and they can be very effective on this map. So I do want to try it, but I also need to pay attention to money. Right. Education. I don't want you pointing to the main arterial road, and I want you to cover the most space. I think I'm gonna do this. How much are they? 10,000. Oof. And I need a high school as well. No, actually, we have plenty of high school. Cool. I do need to develop this bad over here. That's probably the next thing I'm going to be working on. Is getting that built up so that this will have more of a demand. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. Before I get trams actually built, I'm going to sort out this side here. Now, first thing I can do is I can move this landfill. I'll just put it here and stop emptying it. This seems like a decent spot for the landfills, so eventually I'll have to build one over here, but I don't know. I don't need it immediately. As for what's our plan of attack here now that we have a meteor strike? I kind of want this road to go a little bit more straight, but I don't know. It kind of hugs this section nicely. It's not the worst setup. So maybe I'll do this, right? Go to medium road. Ah, so we can get the tram track thing going, which is what I wanted to do. Okay. We'll just upgrade it straight across here. I don't like how this gets crooked right here. It's the main thing. And I'm wondering if it's worth continuing or if we make it actually perfectly straight. If we make it perfectly straight, then it's the most efficient use of our space. And that seems to be like a big thing going on with this map. 91 degrees. Or 90 degrees. This one too is just like slightly not... Okay, I'm redoing all of this. It has been decided. I do need to watch my budget though. This is not right, is it? Oh, I'm not going to build a ton because I'm already at like 23,000. So my idea is like I want a tram that connects, that follows this whole thing around, right? In a big wide loop connecting everything. So that's the dream. I might just stick though with buses initially, because I want to use buses, trams, like I'm gonna have a variety of stuff. So anyway, we can extend this down this way. And just basically, yeah, I want to zone it like this so it's following the river. And we can probably get rid of like all of this. Don't need to spend money on it. Keep the bridge, but I think this is also a straight section, but this curved section, I don't know. We'll try to do a better curve maybe, and then have it be a straight path into here or something. I'll figure it out. But for now, I just want it to connect like across just here. Basically, I'm isolating these communities intentionally. I do want to close the loop though, because I found that public transport works a little bit better when when it's a loop, as opposed to like out and back. And that's why my last couple maps, that's probably why I failed, because it wasn't a loop. It was like a just psh, 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 psh. It needed to go like further and wider in order to be effective. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. Let me look at my, okay. That's not too bad. Just 16 weeks so far, but we are coming up on the second meteorite strike. I hope it's off the map. That would be very nice. If it's like in the middle of the city, it's going to be a real pain. But them's the breaks. Like, just kind of have to deal with it. I do like this strategy, though, of just completely rebuilding everything instead of letting the map creator tell me what to do. I like that a lot. So, let's see, how big is this park? Let's try to get it a little centrally located. I mean, I should put it, like, honestly, where it is right now is pretty good. I'm not going to move it just yet. I'm going to wait till I build out these roads. Yeah. It's down like this. Okay. And let's go ahead and zone. Of course, this will be another residential zone. And this is like how you can like drag and drop this pretty fast. If you're good at eyeballing it. I want to smash these houses because I don't want them to think they're safe. Nothing is sacred. Yeah, like what I'm going to do is get this little thing, this zone started. Put an elementary school down here. Well, not immediately, I don't have enough money, but at least make sure that they have water and all that. And then, like, our first task is to get, I think I'll use buses first, and then swap it out for trams. And we'll continue to use the buses as sort of a small, what am I trying to say? As a way for, oh god, my brain. Basically, the buses are going to be like a collector, right? They'll go out on small little roads, do loops, but short little loops, and then drop everything off at a fast-moving, more intense thing. And by thing, I mean like I don't know, a metro or cable car, something like that. They'll move them real fast. So the other reason I'm doing this is apparently you can have cable car like go down the middle of 4-lane wide streets. Like I'm not 100% on if it works with the tram version of it, but it'd be kind of cool to see, right? We're gonna test it. If that is the case, I mean, then we can probably just put cable cars everywhere, like put them throughout the city. Oh, I forgot to do the drag across all the way. The main reason I tend to do it like just the 4x4 each individual one is I find I'm a little bit better at getting the actual distance right. Yeah, looks like this is wrong. Okay. I'll give me some refund. Alright, and all these are definitely 4x4. Yes. Should go across like so. And then we need to rezone. There. Up in here too. Because you don't want like a 1x1 thing appearing. That would be a no good. Now, it looks like this hill is messing it up a little bit, so we'll zone on this half. Okay. Now make sure that they have water. Of course, there's some ridiculous pipe system left by the map creator. A little bit salty about this map. I feel like you start off with too much. I like to design my own junk and not be told what to do. And unfortunately, this map designer did the exact opposite of that. So, let's see. You probably want it like here, because then it'll go across and cover most everything. And then go down like so. You can continue a bit further, and there. Alright, we'll just connect the pipes like that. And finally, power. See, I'm not sure power will actually jump across that gap. So instead, I'm going to put some 4x4 housing over here so the power can jump over. Also going to smash all these beautiful trees. Now, I think trees do increase land value, but I don't know. Oh, you know, I never finished talking about my whole beef with the fact that they just... So they basically, the way this probably works in the game engine, right, is they have trees on a separate layer from buildings. And the trees probably have no collision. Because you can activate or deactivate collision in like Unreal Engine or all that, right? You can just say, no collision on this. So bash these so we can see the trees. Also kind of fun. But they probably just, they have them on a separate layer and have no collision with the Sims or buildings. And when you drag a building on top of it, they just stop rendering the tree. Like, they switch it so that it's not rendered anymore. Which, I think there are pluses and minuses to that, but the minuses are bigger to me than the pluses. So, the reason why it's maybe a benefit is it means if you decide you don't like your city layout and you smash stuff, well, there'll be trees there. Which is nice, I suppose, if you really care about having trees everywhere. But, on the flip side, it also means that there are still trees there. The computer has to worry about them, but you're not actually seeing or getting any kind of benefit from them. Except maybe the reduced noise pollution. But, yeah. I personally would have it removed. That's just kind of how I would do that. Okay, we can afford a little bit more of this. I'm going to extend it a bit, and just so I can put this park somewhere useful. How is that? That's wasting a lot of its space. Alright, cancel. Nope, I want the small road. And I want to just extend this down, and now I can move them in that little corner for the future. Boom. Okay. It's a small park. It'll make people happy. I probably should have deleted the grass underneath, or trees underneath it, but oh well. So if you're wondering, like, this is a trick I just learned, and I assume most people probably learned it too, but if you are bulldozing something and you continue to hold down bulldoze, you see how it didn't smash any of the... It's only smashing trees? Yeah, it's kind of a nice little UI thing. Like, it'll say, okay, we are only smashing trees, and it'll focus on that. Because I was wondering why they didn't just have, like, a drag marquee tool to, like, drag over and drop it, and then you've deleted, like, basically a cut down trees marquee. And I suppose the reason why is they came up with that instead. Like, so much of Cities Skylines you can just do with a mouse. It's kind of neat, but also, like, it's not fully intuitive. So it's easy to not know that you can do those kind of things and miss it. But you need to go like that. And more trees to kill. But I do wish that if a city is built putting trees up, it would be really cool. And I think they actually do have something, a system like this, but something like how Banished does it, where trees can spread from other trees. And the fact of the matter that, like, that Banished, a game made by one individual, somehow manages to have that feature, and I don't think Cities Skylines does, and Cities Skylines was made by a big team. That's mostly why I complain about stuff. Like, they could probably fix this issue, but they chose to spend their time doing something else instead. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe trees do propagate in City Skylines, and I just am not aware that they do. Maybe, I mean, they ought to. Like, that's like a pretty basic feature in most city builders. So, or I guess base builders is the way to phrase it. Okay, that's future expansion. We do need, I think we need more water. Yeah, we just drag it down a little bit further. As far as I can go. And boom, boom. But yeah, you know, it's just, I don't know. I actually have a degree in game development, so, and as well as a degree in biology. It's fantastic. I love having multiple degrees, as well as a degree in linguistics. That's right. I'm one of those rare, like, crazy people with 3 degrees. I don't know. I basically was accepted to college. I wouldn't say early, but like I was taking college courses in high school, and what ended up happening was I was able to finish like my degrees very quickly, and like I graduated in 3 years with my first degree, which was in linguistics. Well, I mean, technically it was in the English language, but I focused on the linguistics of English. Stuff like basically the development from Old English up through Middle English and all that. Like, my main time period was Chaucer. So, but yeah, that's just how they structured the English degree at my university, my first one. And so I graduated like really young and thought, oh, I'm going to be a sci-fi writer. That's really, I want to write science fiction and fantasy. And I wrote like 3 books. But the problem is, and you know, like, looking back at it, like, it's probably a thing I could have fixed if I had been, let me get these. But basically, my books weren't marketable because at the time, see, I was mixing genres a lot. I would do stuff like magic powered by steampunk and random things like that. I also tend to be a bit too descriptive, but basically publishers would get back to me and say, we don't know how to classify this book. Like, I had one that was it was half serious guide to how you would survive a nuclear war and half a story about a guy wandering the wastelands as a nomad, kind of Mad Max style. You know, those kind of things. And they're like, we can't market this, so we need you to rewrite it as either just the fictional story or just the guide. So I kept running into that kind of problem over and over again, and I was a little bit stubborn about like going back, and I could have like listened to one of the potential agents I was talking to, and just like written a book as just pure story, but every time I would start doing that, it didn't strike me as interesting, and I would not be able to continue to write. And it got to the point where, you know, I wrote 3 novels, took me 2 years of, Target is on fire. Okay. Wow. Still on fire. Crazy. And in the meantime, I had been doing research for my writing, and what the nature of that research was, I gotta watch out for the other thing I need to be very aggressive about on this map is you need to like just really, really go after, if you see any need for industry, you satisfy it immediately, because if you don't, then, let's see, I do need a police station over here. I'm gonna put one, like, kind of down here. Could put it right on the edge there where nothing can build, but I don't know, I might be able to squeeze something in. How about here? How about here? That makes some sense to me. Because we'd only have dinky, tiny little, like, these kind of factories, the box factory and stuff. Whereas we can just squeeze the whole police station down there. Alright, we're at 4,000. Well, let me look at my water here. My water here is good. I can actually get rid of this section now. Might as well. But yeah, like, if I seem like I know what I'm talking about with, like, widely different things, it's because what happened was I ended up going back to school. And, basically I'd start taking night courses in biology as research for a book I was writing. It was going to be all about genetic engineering and all that. But, in the course of doing that, I decided, you know what, I actually really like biology. So I went back and got a degree in biology. And I worked for several years in field ecology, doing basically surveys for what are called land trusts. The whole idea is, like, environmental groups want to buy property so that they can preserve it and not let companies exploit it, like mining companies and stuff. And I would go into an area and decide, well, this has this species of plant that this bird really relies on, so we probably should save it, or that kind of thing. And I did that for several years, but unfortunately, like, it sort of wear me down a lot because so much of it was just, basically these land trusts, spent 90% of their time. Ooh, 2,000. I should be careful. Like, 90% of these land trusts, time and energy was invested in stuff like trying to convince people to send them money. So they would, you know, they end up doing more damage than good because they were, like, too focused on... Sorry, I'm just, like, zoned out while I'm zoning all this. Get it? Zoned out? Anyway. Yeah, they're just so focused on that aspect of, oh, you know, we have to earn all this money, and, you know, the point where we're making deals with energy companies that they're like, yeah, we're going to fund you. It'll be great. And then you're like, awesome, but you are literally the group that is planning to destroy this slice of nature. And like, yeah, but we need you to write a report that, you know, makes it look like we're the good guys. And so it's like, so I left that group. Like, I don't know. I worked at a wildlife refuge for a while, but then the government shut down and they had to fire everybody. You know, and so I bounced around doing that kind of thing for like 2 years straight. Until it wore me down, and it was basically a decision of, do I want to try to get a master's degree and maybe get some version of this work that isn't, you know, as bad as what I'm currently in. Because without a master's degree in wildlife ecology, like, half the time, honestly, I was just mowing lawns for the wildlife refuge. Like, they had to fire all their groundskeeping staff during the government shutdowns. And they basically said, well, you know, you were going to be doing this. Basically, I was hired to make a seed vault so we could restore native prairie species. But instead, I was their groundskeeper for months and months, which was kind of a bummer. And so, yeah, I was basically faced with the decision of, do I really want to continue to try to get a full-on master's degree in a field that's really already worn me down a lot, or do we... What am I doing? And basically, I ended up going to... there was a event hosted by Uni while I was living out in California. And, you know, I was curious about it. I as a hobby, I would make games, like silly little things, like, here's a marble, get through the maze, that kind of stuff. And, there's still industry demand. So yeah, the more you fill those demands, the faster your economy will grow. And, like, basically for the first, like, 30 I'm not even going to build any transport yet because they're very expensive buildings, and I could put it down and have the meteor wipe it out. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, let's see, there's still some space filling out over here. So I'm just going to build this up and make as much money as possible until we hit the 30-week mark. And after the 30-week mark, that's when I can start to think about building out public transport, knowing it'll be safe and sound and all that. So, but yeah, so I was kind of in California, like wondering about my future, when a friend said, "Hey, you know, like Unity, the game engine, they're having a meetup thing, basically." So I went to that and just got to talking with some of the game developers and showed them the dumb little games I'm making in Unity Engine. And I ended up chatting with, they were showing off the HoloLens, Microsoft's augmented reality. It's basically Microsoft's answer to Google Glass. And so they were showing that off, and I just happened to be chatting with some of the people there. And suddenly I find myself, like, talking to this guy. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I work at Bungie." And it turns out he was, like, you know, really impressed with, like, the dumb little hobby stuff I've been doing. He said, "Well, you know, I can't hire you based on this, but it's so promising. Why don't you, like, look into going back to school?" And to have, like, the people who made Halo telling me to do that, like, as a major suggestion, like, it was kind of one of those moments, like, every so often, and if it hasn't happened for you yet, it will. Every so often there's this thing where, like, you just feel like, it's like a wind is blowing, like the winds of fate are going, right? Not enough money. Oh, God. Watch the money, Stu. This is so, like, scary when you're running low on money. Come on. Maybe some more. Okay. But, yeah, like, you know, he seemed like, I guess the whole point was, it's like, the guy's like, "Yeah, no, you should definitely do this, like, you'll probably do well." And so I just decided, you know what, I'll submit, my, you know, little, I guess you could call it a portfolio, to different art schools and see what happens. And yeah, boom, I got into, one of the top art schools in the United States. And the main reason I'm able to do, like, all this crazy education, because normal kids, like, wouldn't have nearly, like, basically, like, the way that college, how expensive it is, it wouldn't have been possible without, basically, well, I just had, like, a grandfather or great uncle or someone who, he never had any children. Me and my brother were, like, his only grandchildren, or great-grandchildren. And he happened to save up a whole bunch, and he said, "You can only spend this on school." So it was enough to cover college, like, multiple times. So, and, like, literally, like, we can only spend it on school. Like, it's the way that it's in a, like, trust, basically. But the way it's set up, I can either get educated or it will sit there until, like, the next generation. And I'm not, I mean, I'd love to have kids, but, you know, I have, like, all kinds of Asperger's and stuff, and although you really shouldn't call it that anymore. So why can't you call Asperger's syndrome? Well, they recently discovered in his letters that he was basically on a death panel for the Nazis. Hans Asperger was a member of the Nazi Party, and a lot of his work was centered around what groups of people can potentially be useful to fascist society. And, like, basically his work with kids with, you know, high-functioning autism, which is what you should call it, was him trying to prove that, look, there's autistics who are low spectrum. I hate the high-functioning, low-functioning thing, honestly. It's all autism. and just because the degree of speaking ability is different, like there are plenty of really smart people out there who have really difficult times with speech. I don't know, I've met some of them. Like, I took speech therapy and stuff for my stutter for a long time. And it, you know, it had to do with, like, I'm a high-functioning autistic. And so, like, I have some, like, social problems and all that. But, now I forget why I brought all that up. Oh yeah, because, like, I mentioned it, but yeah, it's kind of sad. Like, you really shouldn't call it Asperger's syndrome. You should call it high-functioning autism, because it turns out that Hans Asperger would take all the low-functioning autistics in his little... He had, like, basically a asylum that he ran, and he would say, no, these guys, they won't be able to work anywhere. They need too much help to be, you know, they need to be taken care of, which to a fascist state, you can't be... There's no such thing under fascism as someone in the under the caretaking of the state, because all people need to be directing their efforts towards... Okay, here comes that meteor. But basically, under fascism, hopefully it's way off the screen. Okay, good. We got spared. The fires might spread pretty far, but it's out of the area that we bought in. So now we can start to think about getting the tram system set up. And when I think... Ooh, God, look at this. What have I done? Made a mess is what I've done. I guarantee most of these are industry trucks. And what happens is... See, this needs to be like a one-way road, not double, because now there's all these stoplights. Can I look at, I think it's under traffic routes, junctions. Yeah, this needs to be stoplights on the sides. I think that's how we want it set up, so they can have a straight shot through. Let's see. No, it didn't help much. Didn't help much at all. I think, you know what the other issue is? It's the garbage trucks, because they're all trying to use the roundabout to get back. So what we need... This is kind of a fun thing you can do with dirt roads. So dirt roads... I wish there was such a thing as a service road. They have small industry roads, which are nice too. But they don't have... Okay, we should probably also hook up our industry, now I'm thinking about it, with an industry road. I wish they had dedicated service roads, but the next best thing are dirt roads. And the reason why? For whatever reason, service vehicles prefer dirt roads over, like, hard-packed roads. Whereas other vehicles really don't want to use them. We should also probably not even have this connection. I don't think it's a good thing to have. So let me let's fix this up a little bit, huh? I want this to come out like so, and then just come down there. And that way it won't be clogging up the roundabout. I should also... I don't want tram tracks. I get like a one-way. Okay, we'll do one-way road. Upgrade. Can I upgrade this? Why are you crying about tram tracks? Really? Oh, I used the tram track. Dum-dum. Okay. I meant for this one. There. And that way, you know, incoming vehicles can go there or there. Outgoing vehicles won't be clogging up their exit. I think that'll fix things. Let's let it run for a couple minutes. Still really bad. At least industry trucks aren't getting stuck, so that's important. We definitely want them to be able to go as fast as possible. But this roundabout is a disaster. Why are they... Let's... Okay, God, we gotta do the traffic route business. I also gotta pay attention, because demand's rising, and I need to... This is the point in the... In fact, I'm gonna do a little save. Because this is the point where we're ready to start doing... Alpen Glow 5. Because it's our 5th attempt. God, this is such a hard scenario. I'm tempted to maybe even just smash this entirely, but... I don't know. So let's look at routes. There's probably some connection I need to make to help this traffic, because this is bad. Okay, so we got all kinds of stuff. A lot of private vehicles. I'm hoping I can get rid of that issue. It's because I cut this road off. And all the vehicles, like, from here... Yeah, they don't have a connection here, so they have to go up and down this way. And, like, if I'm over here, right, and I want to get to work, I have to go through the roundabout. If I'm down here and I want to go shopping, I have to go through the roundabout. So what we need to do is basically rebuild this connection here, right? And then cut off this connection here. And have like have it be a tram connection instead. So looking at where do I even want the tram to go? Because I have this one and this one. I kind of want them to just like connect here, but there's no way because of the stupid setup. What to do? Also got to move the high school because it's a stupid position. I want to preserve this roundabout, and I like this back and forth thing happening. What I ought to... Really, I just ought to, like, move this down one more. Which means a lot of kind of redoing of the bridges. Because then I could have this be the main tram. But it wouldn't quite connect there. You know what I could do? I could have a separate tram exit here and have it be a dedicated tram line that just kind of hugs the side of things. And continue these roads down to like here, and they can merge up. It's gonna look a little weird, but I can definitely do that. I wonder even if I could fit the tram line going down the middle here. That might be kind of cool. Let's see, we got 31,000. Yeah, like we could have the tram just kind of like go over and through here. But I would want it to go... I wouldn't want the tram to be involved at all with this roundabout. Unfortunately, I built this too close to give myself the time to ramp up and over. But now that I put the idea in my head, I kind of want to do that somehow. Let me see. Okay. So we've unlocked trams. And we want a... I mean, it could even be a one-way tram track. And just because we're circling the whole city. But I'm going to do double. Okay. So let's see. Not super high up. Probably want it to go like 1, 2, 3. Oh, it can totally go this way. kind of fun. Okay. So we'll know that it's there for the future. I really like that, actually. But how do we get this connected to that without doing something with a roundabout? Can this just go down? I mean, it can, but that means that a tram will be crossing and clogging up the... That might be what we have to do. Oh, and this is not a tram. 4-lane road tram track. Let's go ahead and get the upgrades in. And then here, I'm not upgrading to like a 4-lane road or anything. This is going to be like just dedicated tram track. So it's going to force them to use the trams to get across. And they won't be able to walk across. Wahaha. And then we can go back to 4-lane tram. And the idea is I just want the tram to circle the whole city. With multiple stops in the residential neighborhoods. And these roads will be cut off from pedestrians crossing. Now, I could just have it like drop straight down and like do a hard, sharp right turn here. Which doesn't look awful, actually. I kind of want to try for a nice little curve, though. Let's see if I can pull that off. So it's going to have to scooch across there, which will probably make a nice curve not doable. So too steep, huh? So let's go down one. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. A little curve. It's not perfect, but... And then the tram can just like shoot down here, and then how is it gonna reconnect to here? We'll probably have to do another like weird little roundabout business. Or we could just continue this road up. Let's do that. And then just have the tram come down. We'll move the high school somewhere. Well, I'm running low on money. Okay, let it run. Let the money flow. And I don't want to change this to a track just yet, because I think I still need a little bit of a connection. That did mostly fix the roundabout situation, though. At least it's flowing decently now. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So, let's move this park. Who wants a playground? Oh, we're running low on electricity. Gotta watch that. Probably put one, I guess, over here. They are upset about garbage collection. Okay. There we go. Alright, so electricity. Yeah, we're just gonna have to put a couple of these guys in. That's all I can afford. The garbage collection is kind of a bummer. I probably do need dedicated garbage collection on this side. Oh, they have no... I see, that's the problem. They have no connection here. Oof. Well, we can't have that. Let's, Let's try to sort it out. I don't love that. Maybe we just do it straight. Basically, I can set this with the cheaper road and then upgrade later. So, that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do it. I really like sharp angles like that, so. Yeah, later we will upgrade this to be all tram and the larger avenue. We have a ton of residential demand though. Let's right, these guys have no way to collect garbage and I can't afford any way to collect garbage. It's a little frustrating. I'm gonna have to upgrade this back to being a normal bridge. No, not destroy. Upgrade. Why would you do that? Now hopefully the dump trucks will be able to get out there. The other issue is fires. Are they going? It looks like they're trying. You can actually see them flying down there. Look at them go. Can we follow you? Yeah. Whee! They're on mission. I'm just doing this because we gotta fill in some time while we wait for our money to go back up a little bit. That's pretty nice. Looks like the fire truck got there in time. And full. Okay. And here comes all its buddies. I love this feature of Cities Skylines, by the way. Like the being able to pin stuff. Just follow it around a bit. It's very nice. Okay. So, we're good there. Crime, okay. Oh, these all burned down. I probably do need another police department, if I'm being honest. Can't afford anything, though. Alright, there is one thing I desperately need, and that is this. I need to get a graveyard. I'll put it there to deal with. And I can actually afford it, is why I put it down. Next step, we do need to get... Well, looks like crime got solved. Good. Mostly. I'm sure the cops are on their way. Yeah, it looks like it. Busted criminal. No, that's an ambulance. Well, where's the law? I don't know. Hopefully these guys get help sooner rather than later. Kind of a mistake on my part to cut them off like that. Can they actually get to this part of the city? It doesn't look like it, does it? Okay, I go here, go around about, then no, they should be able to. They're probably just all really far away, and so they're not able to get back here. All because of the bridge. Okay, I hear you. Loud and clear. Let's get one of these somewhere. I mean, I hate doing that, but before I put this down, let's upgrade the road, because that's our plan, right? We wanted to have a 4-lane with tram track, so. I really want to get the trams, like, completely set up, but that's the one thing about them. They're a little bit on the pricier side. Alright, this can be a regular old 2-lane road with tram track, which will discourage them from using the bridge, but will still... And see, this is just pure tram track, and this one will probably end up just pure tram track eventually, but for now, road plus tram. Ooh, God, money. It's so scary. Like, you can just suddenly run out of money because you're doing 1 or 2 upgrades and just chatting a bit. Okay, so I got that built, but I need like $20,000 to get the tram system. I also, I think I need police and I need garbage collection because it's piling up. 4,000. Okay, I guess we're waiting a bit. You know what though? Let's take a look at our little milestone. Obviously, it hasn't ticked up at all yet, and oof. I was hoping it would be ticking up before week 30. Well, after week 30, but we had all these little issues crop up. I know one way to get our money a little better, though. And that is building this out. Because there's really no reason not to, right? All right. Oh, God. Is this road not correct? I don't think it's correct. Alright, this is the last thing I'm going to do for this episode, and when we get back, what I'm thinking is I'm going to wait for the money to... Oh, I did it wrong again. Okay, there. I'm going to wait for the money to build up a bit. Why? Oh, it's shifted a little bit. Oh, that's a little frustrating. No, it's not shifted. I shifted it, but because I made this wrong. There we go. Okay. I do that so often when I try to be fancy about it and like drag it a little bit further and stuff. I always end up wrecking the setup. Okay, and yep, watch your money. Anyway, yeah, those will fill up straight away, putting ever more pressure on our... Basically, we want to get the population up faster than we have. I'm actually, like, it sounds stupid, but I'm worried that we've already lost. Because the game I saw where the guy won, by week 30, he already had, like, buses running and all that. And I just literally can't afford anything, and I've already taken out all my loans. And I don't think I can do something fancy. Like, oh, I paid this one off. Could I take it and afford to pay that? No, but it would be enough for me to get the trolley system up and running. I think I need to. Alright, well, And of course, power runs out. God. The moment I think, oh, I can finally get a little trolley going, we run out of power. 19,000. Why is making money on this map so hard? Oh, that's frustrating. Like, I immediately just piffered away, like, fine, I'll get a freaking garbage thing. And hopefully they can solve all the garbage problems. I still need another cop over here, man. Oh, okay, with a little bit of money I have. This is just going to be a longer episode, I think, because I want to get all this sorted. I will go ahead and... Slope too steep, slope too steep. Okay, so that's probably going to be the edge of our thing, or we'll pivot to going in this direction instead. But these two we can develop. There you go. Oh god, sorry. Ow. That really hurt my nose. My nose! Let's do it this way. Ooh, so good. Okay. Okay. This one too. And I think they all have water, maybe? Question mark? Well, we'll find out. Okay, make me money so I can buy a police station so that I can get closer to being able to do, like, cool stuff like the public transportation. Where are a whole bunch of filthy degenerates? Okay, we're at Busy Town, which gives us kind of nothing great. Hold on. I want to see, can I get... Oh, but the nice thing is hitting Busy Town got me some money. So I can afford to get this. Yeah, I'll put you here. See, the jail capacity is fine. It's just I cut the connections off without building the second police station. So it caused all kinds of troubles. But, now we can actually get a proper tram network. We also need to move this guy somewhere. I want it to be in a spot where the tram can reach it, so we have a tram stop. But also not really connected. I'll probably have to move it again, but that's fine for now. Tram track, yes. Connect up. And let's make sure I didn't just disconnect all the power for everybody. Yep. There you go. Yeah, we could probably clear this out. And for now, just... This is not ideal, is it? Oh, is that like a one-way road? Yeah, let's, Sure. Oh, I didn't mean for it to be that, though. I do wish there was an undo button, but alas. 2-lane, 1-way. Yeah. Cool. What I was trying to do, though, was I wanted this to be hooked up. Sure. It's messy. I'll probably break it while I'm building stuff, but it's worth doing. Okay. Now. Let us actually do 40,000. I forgot it was that expensive. Dang. Okay. Gotta wait till we build up enough. Meanwhile, our milestone is slipping away from us. Jeez, maybe I should go on with buses. Right, slope too steep business. I can do it like this. Slope too steep there, but will this one work? No, it really doesn't want to build anything. And like up this hill. I guess it is pretty steep. So maybe we just like... Nope, slope too steep. Sure. It's a little bit wasteful in terms of just using like the space a little bit inefficiently, but now it's just down to like 2s. I suppose this way we won't get any 1 by 1. Except there. I'm just doing this to fill in some time because we're waiting for money to... The budget needs to kick up a little bit. Alright, we're at 35,000. Slowly filling stuff in. Alright. I'm just going to stretch the water in this direction now. Join up like that. How's the power? Power's fine. Landfills are good. We have no garbage processing, which is definitely something to look into. Death care is alright. Health care is not good. But I think I'm going to prioritize getting the trams up and running first. Oh, the high school. I'll just stretch this one up this way. There. But yeah, basically at this point we just continue, like whenever we see the industry climbing too high, we'll deal with it, and then we're waiting for those trolleys. Like, we really do need them, so hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. But I think this is a good stopping point. In fact, I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to save. And I'll just label like 5A's so we know that it's like a little bit further along. Yeah, I don't think we're doing all that well, if I'm honest. Like, it took me too long to get my money fixed. Like, it's a little bit frustrating, honestly. But hopefully, it seems like we're making a decent amount now. Like, we need to upgrade some buildings and obviously continue to build residential and all that. So anyway, I'm gonna call this an episode, y'all. I think it actually went on fairly long, but you know what? That's fine. We were having fun. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. And here's to hoping we actually get this one. I'm a little bit concerned because we are way behind. I was hoping after we hit the 30,000 mark on a second meteor that would be able to immediately build the trolleys, but turns out they're more expensive than I thought, and I did not budget properly. So hopefully I can get the trolleys going and start cranking up our numbers, because we're gonna have some catch up to do, I think. Anyway, in the meantime, basically next episode I'm just gonna continue to build outwards, build as much as I can on the little bits of land that we've bought. We'll buy another plot of land and expand further, and hopefully get to Metro. And by the time we have Metro, that's when we can really ramp up our public transportation and all that good stuff. And I might try ferries. People say they're actually pretty good, and bus lines is the other thing I'm considering. Although I could probably train up the whole city too. That's another option. So, but yeah, like long distance bus lines, things like that might be good. And even like passenger rail isn't the worst. Like, it carries the most people. It's just takes up a lot of space, and space is a premium on this map. So anyway, I'm gonna stop recording there, and we will, when I come back next time, that's where we're more going, just kind of building outwards, and hopefully the city service sectors will stop demanding I build expensive things, because, you know, it's like, quit it with needing all the police stations, because I need to build transportation, not freaking firehouses and stuff. Anyway, y'all, cheers.